Oh, wonderful. Is this the cutscene I'm thinking of? Wait. Yes, I think it is. Yes, yes, it is. This is a cutscene where they're just like, oh, Eggman still means business, even though we're never going to show him actually do anything of note. You see
Yeah,
that? They very specifically put this line, and then they put Sonic and Tails' reaction like, whoa, what was going on? Just like, you could have just not done that, and it would have landed even better.
yeah. I mean, this seems like a tell don't show game.
Also, how did they make this ice cream? This just came out of nowhere.
Yeah, I was about to say that's something seems weird about that.
Yeah,
Like, where is this
see,
projecting from, or what is it projecting onto?
yeah, so just like for some reason, Eggman is super mad here, even though it doesn't make sense that why he'd be this mad. And then he says this line, except he never ever
That's
follows up on it.
you know what's the problem? The person who wrote this scene didn't get finish writing the rest of the game. He sounded like he had well, he or she they had something awesome in mind, clearly, and then they were immediately fired, and some random person. You know what? No, there are two writers for the game. The person who wrote this cutscene and the person who wrote everything else.
That sounds eerily like Digimon Adventure 2, where they were just like, I forget if they got another writer took control for a bit, but then for his stuff, like the storyline got dark and went into like a whole different direction, but then they got into I think arguments about how it was supposed to go, and so the normal writer took over, and the other writer, I don't know if he quit or was just relegated to the side again, and so they had to wrap up that plot point in a very stupid way.
That reminds me of Community Season 4, where two characters they've been setting up for the entire series that these two characters have a thing for each other. And then season 4 starts, it has new writers, and they decide to make the characters get together, be incompatible, and then break up.
Wasn't that something like that happened with Seven of Nine or something like in Star Trek Generations or whatever? Where
Oh, I'm not enough of a Star Trek fan to know that, but that sounds possible. That sounds. I know something romance related with 709 happened.
yeah, because I remember Seven of Nine as a character interests me, and I watched a lot of moments. I think there was like a point in where it was like season 4 or whatever, where she totally gave up on a guy, and then went with another guy, and I just like that just seems weird that just happened.
You
Um,
know, the thing is, I haven't seen Star Trek Voyager, but from what I know about what people say about it, it gets very inconsistent.
an inconsistent show in today's day and age, perish the thought.
No, well, this isn't. This was an old show,
Oh,
not super
really?
old, but
Wait,
yeah.
what's the one that's called? What's the one that's recent?
Discovery, and yes, this is all to be. I've only seen season 3, but yes, that is inconsistent. To put it mildly, that's inconsistent. But yeah, they largely from and since, like I said, I'm a relatively new fan, so I can't speak with any authority. But ever since Voyager, basically from Voyager to now, which is Voyager, Enterprise, Discovery, Picard, they've all been incredibly inconsistent. Like TNG was consistent from what I gather between seasons 2 to 6, and then it ended at season 7, and then Deep Space Nine's apparently very consistent for most of its run, and then everything starts getting messy. But still, a lot of people still love the other shows, so I can't, and I haven't seen them, so I can't say Like I can't speak with any authority on Voyager or Enterprise. I haven't seen them.
Yeah, well, it's unfortunately, well, I can't really speak to character relations on that, considering I watch a lot of media where it's super simplified and they go through the same beats to like an issue. But there's also the fact that previous what is it? Previous media, not now surprisingly, because there seems to be a renaissance, seem to have an issue with characters moving on from one stage to another in a relationship. It would, okay, thank you, Eggman, I hate you. But
Eggman's on your side now, I see.
because the thing is still programmed like that.
Yeah, he should just like in the back, like fixing the machine. He can run faster than Sonic, so he should just run ahead and fix all the machines.
But at least I get all this back. But yeah, so one example that I have that is like it's not the quintessential example, but it's the largest example. In Disgaea 2, the characters go through an arc where they basically fall in love with each other. And at the end they kiss and that's all going on. In the sequels where they make DLC cameos, they constantly do things for each other, and usually it ends up in a joke about them being sickeningly lovey-dovey and whatever and all that stuff. But even up until now, it's just like you guys are practically married at this point. Why has nothing happened yet?
Oh, that's what you mean. Like, yeah. Because that's the thing. There's a lot of... That's one thing as props I have to give to Brooklyn Nine-Nine, which is the characters in there, will they or won't they? And then they fall in love, and then they get married, and the show just continues. They don't have to constantly... Like, I personally think a show doesn't need to end with a character choosing someone in a relationship. That doesn't have to be a series finale for me. That can be an arc, and then we see the consequences of that. Like, I mean, and this is a knock against.
Oh wait! This cutscene is actually really good. Sorry, hold that thought. This is one of the actually somehow very good cutscenes.
Yeah, she's talking about her nails because she's the girl character.
No, wait.
Yeah,
wait.
I know.
This is a wonderful line. And it's just like, this is what it's supposed to be. Him lampshading how incredibly stereotypical they are because he's dealt with and interacted with better.
Yeah, that is funny. But yeah, I mean, we've already talked about girl character meme. But yeah, that is funny. Hey, achievements. Immediately, I'm just... certain things have been not permanently tainted badly, but I see an achievement and I just think about Jim Sterling playing those games where they give you like 5,000 achievements and the whole point of the game is just spamming achievements. And it's just, Steam is weird.
Really, because when I mentioned what you're doing, I think of the Jim Sterling video where that guy tried to get YouTube to copyright strike him or whatever 3 times in a very poorly veiled plan.
It's YouTube is weird.
Yeah.
But also,
I've been on it. I forget who it was, but there was another channel that I do follow that's just like this should sound familiar to us specifically, but it's something where their thing got hit with your channel has like duplicate videos of other stuff. You should get rid of those. and they don't tell you what the duplicate videos are at all. And so the guy just okay, I had every indication that was going to happen, thank you. But yeah, so what happens is that he basically voices exactly what I said all the time when that first happened, and how incredibly stupid and unfair that was. But he has an active fan base that can talk to YouTube that can basically pester YouTube's hashtags on Twitter, and even then he initially got a bot response that just said the same
Is that
thing.
Markiplier? Markiplier?
No, not Markiplier, and not Markiplier either.
Okay.
But the thing is that just like even with his active fan base, he originally got a bot response that basically says, "Oh, that means that you have a duplicate video that you need to get rid of. You should get rid of it and read the terms and services." So
It's these balls again.
yeah, the ones with the minds of their own, advanced technology. But the thing is that then they kept pestering YouTube until he got a personalized response like, "Yeah, we're looking into it. Don't worry about it." And they admit it's a mistake. Now, that's very nice and dandy, except the fact that you need an active fan base to constantly do that to get anywhere. And that is not a description that our fan base basically has. So,
That's
I
not
continue
true.
to be screwed.
Comment below if you're active.
You and I both know they're going to do nothing of the sort. Maybe
Yeah, I guess we'll see.
Maybe one person is going to be like, "Oh wow, I can break the mold for this video for some reason."
Here's the thing. One person, you are cool. If you the following statement is directed directly at you, the person commenting this video. Thank you. It's directed at no one else except you. This is a personalized message.
Team Dusk was made possible with the help of viewers like you.
But yeah,
But seriously speaking, like, just like you know what's more likely, despite the fact that we said all that, somebody asking for me to do a double boost video of something specific.
do a double boost video of us about to
A double boost video of us trying to avoid copyright. Except unlike Sonic Forces, where no matter what you do, you technically always win. You just stumble at first. We don't have that option.
yeah. But I was gonna say more about community. That's how where I guess no one ends up together in community. So that's kind of also good, but it's something where no one ends up together is almost like the end revelation. So it's still managed to be a series long will they or won't they? It's just the answer is they won't. So it kind of had its cake and ate it too.
Yeah, and unlike me, they don't substitute part of the water with milk.
I know it's based on what I just said, but I don't know what I just said to make that make sense.
They had their cake and they eat it too.
Okay.
But just like that obviously ruins the point. 'Cause I mean, I look at it this way: the D-pad, for example, they've been doing things for a long time, and they have half of our subscriber base. But I think that they should have ours and more, considering how much work, and how many games they do, them all meeting up, them being actually genuinely hilarious consistently.
Yeah, or hilarity is neither genuine nor consistent.
Yeah, I mean, I hate to say that, but we often
Oh, I was just
stumble-
memeing. No, we're fantastic.
No, we're not. We often stumble into fantastic, being fantastic, as like I was going through Gunstar Heroes, and part 6 very specifically was actually like really good. I think. Was it? I think it was Moon Star Heroes. I was like, man, this is really good. Why can't we ever keep this up?
The answer to that is I don't know. I don't think I think okay, I don't think I think. I think that we're fine and because we no longer try too hard. If I go back to the early stuff, it's like, oh, we're trying, and I don't try anymore. I just be myself.
Absolutely.
If it's funny, it's funny. Yeah, and if it's not funny, then I don't know.
You're still going to continue the joke and hope it's funny, and then I have to stop you.
You know what? No, that's what we used to do. That's the thing. I think it's like it's either like back then it was funny or not funny. Now it's just funny, or it's not trying to be funny, which I think is a huge improvement over it's funny or it's not funny.
I mean,
if that makes sense. Like there's no universe where our current content is any worse than our past content.
Yes.
I mean, I guess there's probably there's a time
like a few parts
where it's like that we were nailing it in those times.
Yeah, like certain Mario Galaxy parts. I still think are great. Oh, great! Another cutscene where things are terrible. It's just this is just going to be. It's like
when did this happen? It's like the cutscene starts 2 minutes into it.
It's not even so much like. Okay, so Tails goes to help Cubot while Sonic and Eggman talk about genocide.
I feel like these cutscenes are happening too often.
And here's the thing: if they were,
I don't think this part has been.
I wouldn't care. But here's the thing: Tails on his stupid Miles Electric board, computer thing that everybody wishes would be destroyed because that's all he does anymore is look at that stupid tablet pad. And just like here, Eggman decides to save Tails, and like they put Eggman as a complicated guy, but they don't really work with that. Another plot thread that's dropped, and then secondly, they act like Tails was in serious danger from a crab meat. A single crab meat. You could have gotten yourself killed, is what Sonic said.
Gameplay separate from story. In the gameplay, he's gonna destroy 1,000,000 of them, but in the story, they're gonna be treated like a threat. I get it. It's still dumb, but I get it.